more than 2 minutes to go in this round. Anthony Joshua is a composed and ferocious finisher. Watch this.
21 knockouts in 21 wins for Anthony Joshua. The jab with the right hand. Ruiz is staggered and an uppercut, trying to hold on. Strafing right. Ruiz comes to fire back, and Joshua's hurt. Oh, left hook goes down. Andy Ruiz caught him with a sharp left hook. Joshua's hurt.
To evade.
Down goes Young on a thunderous left hook.
And that is the vaulting power that we're talking about. Nonito Donaire at this weight class, 118 pounds. Everybody better watch out.
Who the fuck is he talking about?
Oh, great shot from Fury. Terrific right hand. Oh, and down he goes. Right hand, left hand. And I don't think he's going to get up. I think it's all over. I think it's over. Is he going to get up? Can he get up? Can he get up? He does. Oh my goodness. Somehow Fury has managed to get up.
The contract's been signed for February 22nd. Agree, or you will have a lawsuit on your head. You little maggot!
Another 1-2.
Look at Mayorga. Fights on. Let me tell you, Mayorga, this gets Mayorga into it. He just let him hit him a left hand. Look at him.
Right hand. And look at Mayorga.
Oh, wait a minute.
Under hip pressing so hard. They are feeling it in Brazil. Mamma mia. What a KO.
He clearly landed more power shots, and if Triple G didn't have the chin of God, he would have been knocked the fuck out.
I tell you what, he could have knocked out a racehorse with that left hook.
Right hand up one, and he has to come behind the jab, to get close.
Oh! One punch knockdown. One shot by the young star. This fight is over.
Fantastic fitness levels here from Lewis Whitson here in his last round. Bobat, firing shot. That's it. 15-12 punch combination from Douglas Davies.
Terrific action in the last round, just like that was in the first three.
I feel like you just fucking me with no Vaseline.
Any of you radio personalities think you want smoke? Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
Yes. What is up, MCR family? Happy New Year's Eve. And those that are most likely watching on New Year's Day, Happy New Year's to all of you out there listening to MCR, and to all those that have been supporting us all year long. Thank you. Air horns for all of you. Air horns for all of you guys. Last show of the decade of the year. It's amazing stuff here, guys. Amazing stuff here. Cannot wait to delve into all of it. Obviously, we had some fights that happened in Japan overnight. We're going to delve into those. Ioka versus Cintron. Koze Tanaka, potential pound-for-pound top 10. Depends on who you're talking to. Fought as well in the tune-up. Really demolished his opponent. We're going to get to that. Plus, Gervonta Davis TV numbers are out and largely a success, I will say. We're going to delve into that, debate whether or not Gervonta Davis has turned a corner in terms of stardom and drawing power, whether this means that Showtime is not, falling and crumbling before us, all the fun topics that are going to proceed from that. Just a lot to get into. And obviously, Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez going to Saudi Arabia, says Bob Arum, potentially. What? God damn it. So much to get to on today's show. And even though it's a New Year's Eve show and we do have a lot to get to, we're also, because it's New Year's Eve, be a little more lax and, taking all questions and topics. So everyone in the chat, you don't have to call in, even though you can call in as well, 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. Skype, international callers, Mixed Combat Radio on Skype. We will answer a lot more questions and topics from the chat on today's show, most likely than usual. So just drop a question topic there as well. But I'm joined usually on these shows and as well on today's show by Gary in Dallas. Gary, happy New Year's Eve, man. How are you doing?
Happy New Year. Buon anno. Buon 2020 anno.
You sound very low on my end. You want to turn yourself up? I don't know why.
How's that, better?
Turn yourself up. We should have done this before.
Is that better?
No, keep turning yourself up.
This is going louder.
You turn your gain up. Come on, Gary.
Is that better?
Oh, so much better. Thank you. You're good. Perfect now.
Well, Happy New Year. Buon anno. Buon 2020 anno. That's happy
2020 in Italian.
Rigatonia Summer just smiling.
I know we have a big Italian audience.
I wonder. I actually wonder what our percentage is. It can't be that big. It has to be like less than 1%.
I can guess that there's one Italian listener.
Rigatoni.
Right, Rigatoni.
Yeah, your cousin. Are you doing anything after the show for New Year's? Or are you fireworks, anything like that? No, yeah.
No, I mean,
no champagne, no anything like that.
No, my kids are too little. The little one, my girl will stay up, but her twin brother and the little guy, they're gonna be asleep. I'm 36 with 3 kids and married. I don't do anything fun ever.
I don't do anything fun ever. No, I understand completely. After the show, I'd be like, come on, son, let's go to bed. I'm tired. Let's go. And then come back here to the studio and get a bunch more work done before I leave for my little mini vacation. But digressing, Gary, let's get to the topics today because we do have some topics to get to, even though it's New Year's Eve and we can just bullshit probably here for an hour. I'm assuming.
Do you have anything going on? I mean, you're young. No, nothing.
No, I might be younger than you, Gary, but I'm also a dad, so like that automatically limits my options, so to speak. And anyways, digressing from that. You watched the fights last night, right, in Japan? I'm assuming.
Well, I watched them this morning, but yeah.
Yes, obviously you didn't watch them last night. I didn't either. I didn't wait to find a stream, even though some people were sending me streams. I just didn't care to stay up. Let's talk about Koze Tanaka's fight first because obviously his fight was more of a tune-up against, oh my God. I mean, Gary, this is going to be rough on this name pronunciation here. Wulan Tallahassee, I believe is how you pronounce his name, that fought Koze Tanaka. And Tanaka demolished him in 3 rounds. I mean, this wasn't even close. Like, I knew this was going to be a tune-up. And it was, and I mean, the second Tanaka started like going into second and third gear and like about the last 15, 30 seconds of the second round, I knew it wasn't going to last long and then it ended in the next round. I mean, there's not much to say here other than Tanaka is fucking amazing. I mean, his boxing technique is perfect for the lower weight classes. He's a giant for 112, in my opinion. Power is undeniable at 112. Again, probably the best boxer in that division as well. Gary, thoughts about Koze Tanaka's performance here?
It was what it was supposed to be. It's what you expect from a pound-for-pound guy in a tune-up fight, right? I mean, there's not much to say about it. That was it like a double or a triple uppercut he finished him with? It was, I mean, the knockout was spectacular.
I think it was a double uppercut. It might have been like that 45-degree angle, like shovel hook to a degree, but in my opinion, that was uppercuts.
Yeah, and it was picture perfect, and it put him out. And
I forgot about that.
I mean, and the performance was like we talked about guys like Charlo, Terrence Crawford, who were playing with their food a little bit. Tanaka didn't do that. He went in there and just met an overmatched opponent. So kudos for him for doing that. Again, it shows why he's pound for pound. But outside of that, he's a great fighter, which we already knew. It didn't show much because of who he was fighting.
Any thoughts? I mean, obviously we have Julio Cesar Martinez fighting most likely on the Mikey Garcia undercard. Any way we can just get that fight next? Is that a possibility? Do you think A, it's a possibility? Because, I mean, do you think it's realistic? And B, preliminary prediction and sort of like breakdown on Tanaka Martinez.
Unless they can do it in Japan, like, I don't see it happening. And like Martinez, I don't know. I guess the money would have to be right. There's not a ton of money for him on this side. Maybe they can do it. I like, you do get surprised in the small weight classes because if you want to make a lot of money, you got to make the big fights. Mm-hmm. So maybe you'll get it.
And also in the low weight classes, a lot of money, air quotes, is very different than other weight classes.
Right.
I mean, Hickey Butler, I mean, famously gave up his belt, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, because the purse bid was like $30,000 for his title fight. And he was like, no, I'm just going to give him my belt. Like, I don't want to fight for 30 grand. I'm a champion. I deserve more than that. So a lot of money is, low six figures for these guys. Like Roman Gonzalez, Circuits or Rungsby, Estrada. Look at all the purses they were making, or still are making. They're not cracking seven figures ever.
No, ever. Which is why I'm wondering, and he probably didn't, if Michael Carbajal ever made seven figures in today's dollars, or Ricardo Lopez, because those would be the only two guys I could see ever having a chance to do that.
Maybe Santiago might know that. I know he's listening on the line. It's doubtful. I mean, because we live in an age where money and exposure for the lower weight classes is at its greatest point.
Yeah.
So to imagine, guys of 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years ago at the flyweight or bantamweight weight classes making money, I mean, it must have been significantly less, even with inflation, calculated in, than today's standard. It has to be. Because these guys are actually getting, like, U.S. exposure. That didn't happen most of the time 10 years ago, even.
Right. Now, I can't see it.
Oh, actually, Santiago is saying Michael Caballera was the first flyweight to earn $1 million versus Gonzalez. There you go.
Okay.
I bet you get the occasional Japanese fighter that makes $1 million in the low weight class, like Inoue. I bet he was making seven figures of Japanese TV money.
If he was making seven figures, why would he come over to the U.S. and fight on Superfly?
Because he can get seven figures from both countries now.
But that would be on at what time? I mean,
doesn't matter. You finesse both. You finesse both markets. It's the same as like Tyson Fury, to a degree. Like Tyson Fury's finessing Sky and BT while he's fighting in the U.S. predominantly right now. He's still making a lot of money from UK TV rights. He is. So I think there is, maybe he's not making as much if he was main eventing and headlining over there, but he's still making a huge percentage of his paycheck from UK TV. Same with, I would assume, guys like Murata who've come over here at times and fought in the US. He's still getting watched by 10 million plus people in Japan. He's making money over there still. It may not be as much if he was there fighting, but it's still a significant amount of his purse.
Then Cintron is signed with Bob Arum, right?
Sorry, repeat that.
Cintron. Well, we'll get to that.
I don't know if he was signed with Bob Arum, to be honest.
I thought he was. I don't know why I thought that. I just thought Cintron was Bob Arum.
He's Puerto Rican. I mean, it's an assumption. It's like Emmanuel Rodriguez all over again.
In Santiago faction, is Cintron signed with Top Rank?
He's been fighting on Telemundo lately, so I don't think so.
Okay.
I doubt it, to be honest. And also, I will say this: I'm pretty sure BoxRec has the wrong picture of him. Right? Have you looked on it on BoxRec? Go on BoxRec right now. This guy that they have on the picture for Javier Cintron is not Javier Cintron. Am I the only one that's been noticing this? I got to text Gray Johnson about this and be like, yo, who's this guy that you have there for Javi, man? Because it's not him at all.
That does not look like him.
No, it's not him. It's not. Go on.
Is it him in 11th grade? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, that doesn't look like him. But
hold on. Let me show the people. This is not him. Okay, I promise you guys. Watch the fight, which you can find on our community tab on YouTube, by the way. But yeah, that's not Javier Cintron. Javier Cintron looks
nothing like that.
Like it looks like he could be the vanilla guy to a sitcom on ABC.
Google Javier Cintron. Just put his name in Google real quick.
And look it up really fast. Okay, hold on.
He's standing in front of a Top Rank sign. I don't know if that means he's with Top Rank or he just fought on a Top Rank card, but I know that he was associated at some point, at least on a Top Rank card.
Could he have been with like a developmental deal in some aspect?
Maybe.
You're right. He is in front of a Top Rank deal. I would not be surprised if there's some. if there was some either option on him to some degree. Okay, guys, hold on. Here, I'm gonna do a side by side here, really quickly, of this shit, because this is not the same person, guys. I swear to God. This is important, okay? It's New Year's Eve. Like SSB in the chat says, damn, y'all never take days off. We don't. And it's for topics like this, okay?
I don't know, man. It might be like his sophomore picture in high school. I don't know. Like he's got the same dimple in his chin. It certainly doesn't look like him, but I don't know. Maybe it's a picture from him when he was in middle school. I don't know.
Oh, I can see it now. But he looks so different in the fight. He looks
so different.
In the fight, it looked like a doppelganger. Okay, when we get to the fight, I now have a theory. It wasn't the real Cintron. Plot twist, guys.
Did you like the fight?
I really like the fight. Let's just get to that one, because but first let's fuck it. Let's get to it. Ioka Cintron was a great last fight of the year. It wasn't a fight of the year contender in my opinion, but it was a really good fight. Ioka just like old man him in a way. Like he never let Cintron get on the outside because Cintron had a significant height and reach advantage. Significant, Gary. And honestly, it was apparent really fast within the fight that he didn't have an inside game. He couldn't shorten up his shots and combinations really. So Ioka just cut him off, stepped on the inside of his jab, and constantly battered him with body shots, with his own jab, and just outdid him in almost every capacity. And didn't overexert himself to a degree, so he never tired out. And Cintron was always playing catch up. I really liked this fight. It was a fight where I thought Cintron showed me enough at 11-0 that I think he still has a future. I'm not going to write this guy off right now as like an untested prospect who fought a really good fighter in Ioka, but he definitely has flaws and complete holes in his game that these top guys will absolutely take advantage of, like Ioka did. Gary, your thoughts on this fight?
It was a really good fight. I would say it was a great fight. It looked like Cintron was just going to outbox him from the beginning, but like I gave the first 3 or 4 rounds
really
to Cintron.
Really?
Yeah, I thought Cintron was boxing beautifully from the start. When he was first, I thought he was landing with the jab in the right hand. I thought he was using all corners of the ring perfectly. I thought he fought as well as he could have fought, except Ioka's better. And then Ioka finally got to him. But I had him. I had it 7-5, just like the judges had it. But I gave the first 4 rounds. I think it was 4. It was at least the first 3. I think it was the first 4 I gave all to Cintron. And then I had from the 9th round on, the fight was pretty one-sided. It was one of those things like when you watch the NCAA tournament and like the 15 seed gets up 15 points on the 2 seed, and then like the 2 seed just comes back systematically. It's like it's a race against the clock. Like that's how my scorecard was. Like I had Ioka coming back, but he had to win every single round going away to win the fight because I thought he lost the first 4, and he did emphatically. I thought there was times in the last 10th, 11th round that he may stop him. It's just like Cintron couldn't do any better. Like that was Cintron's game plan. I think he fought the way he wanted to fight. I think he followed the blueprint, except Ioka still has a lot left. And it was a really good year for Ioka. He's got that one over Cintron and a stoppage victory over Palikte. That's a really good year. Like he'll be in my top 10 fighters of the year. Those are 2 good wins against two young lions. Now, Cintron's not a knockout artist like Palikte, but you can see that there's a lot of skill. And he's going to give a lot of guys a lot of problems in that weight class. He's only 24.
If he develops an inside game, he is somebody to watch because his size, his reach, his boxing ability on the outside, you add some like roundness to his game with some inside work, he is going to be a tough guy to beat. I will say this. I can see why people were giving some rounds to Cintron because Ioka was very conservative with his output at times. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't really throwing 100 punches a round, in my opinion.
He was, and it was
like that 50-60, but highly efficient, highly accurate. Everything was in bursts, and that made it seem more active and made it seem like it was more volume than it actually was. And I thought Cintron, his game, I mean, if you like outside movers, you're going to like that work. But I thought Ioka was... I could honestly see this fight being a 120 scorecard for Ioka, and you can still say it's a competitive fight.
Did you really score all the rounds?
No, I didn't. I scored 3 rounds for Cintron. I want to say the first to Cintron, and there was like 2 in the middle. It was like the 4th and the 6th, I want to say.
It was the 6th. So the 5th round was the first round that Ioka really got it going, and then I thought Cintron bounced back nice in the 6th round. I just thought whoever was first did really well. Like in the first half of the fight, I thought Cintron threw first, and the only success that Ioka had was when he threw first.
But the problem with like Cintron, he was never really accurate with any of his shots. Like he never was. Even like when he was able to get Ioka stuck on the outside for brief periods of time, he was never efficient in those periods of time. He was never accurate in those periods of time. And I think there was like this was a moment like he should have had a couple step-up fights before he had this moment in this fight. Like it was clear he wasn't ready. Like it was clear like he was pressured mentally, physically very early from Ioka, and he was just like the experience factor was too much. The moment got to Cintron to a degree. He was way too erratic in his movement. He wasn't sitting down on his punches like he should. Like he will go back and watch this and said, I should have relaxed. If I was relaxed in this fight, I would have done far better in this fight. Maybe not have won it still, but he would have performed far better. He wasn't relaxed. He was nervous. Which I can understand. He's 11-0 fighting, I mean, a legend and a top 5 guy right now. I would be nervous for fuck's sake. So, like, of course. I think Cintron, with another 2 or 3 years of grooming, so to speak, will come back and be a force in the top 5. To be honest. Or in the division higher. I could see that as well. I could see him moving up.
I'd like to see him fight Palikte and just watch them snipe each other from long range. I would favor Palikte in that fight just because he's a much bigger puncher. Again, maybe some more fights in the middle, some more intermediate fights, would have done Cintron better. But I feel like he fought the fight that he was supposed to fight. And I thought he executed it. It's just that Ioka was better, right? It's like, how do you stop Kobe Bryant? You really can't. I mean, he's better than you and he's going to beat you. Like, that's it, that's what Cintron was supposed to do. Like, the ropes are hot. Stay off the ropes. Keep the jab going. He could have threw the jab a little more, but you could see he was broken down. The body shots and the aggression of Ioka finally broke him. And he was trying to run out the clock, except there was too much clock left and he lost.
And plus, him being the southpaw, I want to say, and Ioka being the orthodox fighter, his jab wasn't landing to the degree that he wanted it to. And he should have just started throwing the left straight more often, and he didn't for some reason. That's the easy fix. That I feel like that should have happened.
I feel like some of it was like my criticism of Mick Conlon is that like he just throws punches, right? Like there's no game plan. He's just like it's an amateur style. He's just looking to score punches, right? That's kind of how I felt Cintron was fighting at times. Like he was throwing off a combination, but there was no purpose on the punches. There was no design. Like he was just trying to score more.
There wasn't any thought of, I'm going to throw these 2 punches to set up this third punch that's really going to land and affect him.
Right.
There was nothing like that. Or this thought of, I'm going to throw this punch or this setup for this many rounds to set up another punch and setup and combination in rounds 6, 7, and 8. A la like Canelo with the right hand to the body. Watch any Canelo fight, especially like Canelo Khan. Go back and watch that fight. I mean, that's a prime example, Canelo Khan. Watch how many times and count. Just watch and count. Look at this. How many times Canelo throws the right hand, a long right hand, to the body of Khan. Was it set up a long overhand right in round, 6 or whatever it was? That is that is strategic planning, and Cintron doesn't have that. But then again, he's 11-0, and like you said, 24, 25 years old. Like he really shouldn't have that yet. Like you need to develop that. And he just hasn't yet. He took a leap in competition level he shouldn't have. Like this is another, not to the same degree, but this is another Lubin story that I talk about all the time. A prospect taking a leap up when they shouldn't. And there's some steps that they should have took beforehand to better prepare themselves for that fight. Gary?
I mean, I mostly agree with that. Yeah, I mean that was kind of what I saw. But I do think Cintron will be back. Like that. I mean, I just think Ioka is right in the thick of things in that division. Like he's going to be trouble for anyone. I don't know where he goes next. But I don't know that there's anyone who I would pick to beat him. Not that no one in the division can beat him because the division's stacked. But he's going to have a chance, especially against the long guys. Twice in a row, he showed you how exactly to beat a tall, long guy. He boxes well. He uses the jab well from the mid range, and then when he gets inside, the relentlessness and the body attack, he's going to be tough for anyone. I don't care what your style is. He's going to be really tough.
Some names I may throw out for him to fight. Okay, not all of these are realistic. Not all of these. Ricky saying, "Is Rob fired?" No, Rob's not fired. I don't know why people would think that.
Because he hasn't been on the show in like 2 weeks.
But that's like people are busy. Like Fu hasn't been on the show in like months, guys. Fu is still in the group chat. Fu gets all the links to the show. Like people are busy. Like, and it's New Year's Eve. Like people are busy. Like, and plus I was like, yo, Gary, I am doing a show in a couple of hours. If you're on, you're on. If you're not, it's cool, man. Like most of the time, that's just how the show runs. Like I'm busy. Shows get sort of produced in a relatively short fashion. But quickly, some opponents that I could see Cintron fight next. Sonny Edwards, Luis Concepcion. You said Plete. I like Plete. Israel Gonzalez. I think it's a good one. Pedro Guevara. Jonas Sultan. McWilliams Arroyo. Andrew Maloney. Like, those are all fighters I would love to see him fight next, to be honest. Any of those. Even like guys like Maloney who's undefeated, where like it doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't care. Like Cintron proved in this fight that he's still, like he's a top 15 name. Like if I went back and did my rankings, he might slip in the top 15 even based off of a loss, to be honest. And I think he still slipped in the top 15.
I'm just looking at the names. For Cintron, they're going to give him on Tejas next. Watch.
No, not for loss. They're not going to feed him to Tejas, no. Iran Diaz, I could see that.
I'm looking at. Okay, you want to give him McWilliams Arroyo and what? But he'll beat those. He'll beat those guys. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a good PR versus
Andrew
PR.
Maloney, he'll beat him.
You think he'll beat Andrew Maloney?
Yeah, I thought he was good. Like I just think Ioka is really good, right? Like I think there's a lot left in the tank at Ioka, and Estrada and Rungvisai are the two top names in the division, and I don't know that either of them necessarily beat Ioka. I mean, they could, but I think Ioka could definitely beat those guys too.
Agreed. Who do you want for Ioka to face next?
I mean, the money fight is Chocolatito.
Is it still?
I would guess so. I mean, if you ask the average boxing fan, who's the biggest draw, who's the biggest name at 115, they're still going to say Chocolatito. Who do I want? I want either Estrada or Rungvisai. Right?
Is Estrada not surpassed him? Mexican market, DAZN money. It's conversation.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to say yes just because I want that fight. I want the Estrada fight. Like that's such a great fight.
That's an amazing inside fight.
Does it headline a card though for DAZN? Is it headline a Matchroom card?
I mean, they could, right? You could put that in Japan. You could put that in.
I want it in LA.
You could put that in LA, obviously. I want it in LA because I just want to be credentialed, and I know I'll get credentialed for Matchroom and DAZN cards. And plus, I mean, if it's Estrada in the Forum, please. The Forum is magical for like super flyweight fights. Put it there, please. What's Rungvisai doing, man? Is he just not like doing anything after that loss?
I think he's living a good life. You know that before, when he fought Chocolatito the first time, he was still a garbage man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's straight chilling. This is all found money. Like he was hoping to get a regional title, an Asia Pacific kind of, regional belt, and like that was his career goal. He was on people's pound for pound list. Like he was my fighter of the year for 2017.
Yeah, people act like he was like Rocky Balboa. No, man, he beat Quadras and got robbed.
He was real close with that. That fight ended early due to a headbutt or something. Is that what happened? It ended.
Ooh, trying to remember what happened with that fight now. That was years. That was years ago. Hold on.
But he still had the other name then with all the W's. He wasn't even ring beside then. He was still Wasliak Wangakok, or however you said. So it's like,
you're right. Quadras was cut over the left eye from a clash of heads. Siricat deducted 1 point under WBC's accidental headbutt rule.
Oh, wow, they still had that rule back then. What year was that?
This was 2014. But by the way, yo, I know this is Gray Johnson at Box Strike and doing this. He didn't say, it's not saying WBC's accidental headbutt rule. It just says WBC's accidental butt rule. And the immature part of me thinks that's hilarious, I gotta say. And quickly, I saw Ricky saying that he's about to find out if he has a boy or a girl coming up. Man, salute to you, bro. Ricky Ellis in the chat. Congratulations, man. Anthony Walker just had his kid, guys. So, I mean, everyone's having kids lately. Good. I'm not the only one now.
Not me. I'm done having kids.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done too. But digressing, Ioka against anyone, man. I know we could probably get Yafe and Gonzalez next. Ancajas versus Ioka, I would love that. Ioka versus Estrada, I love that. Any of those two fights, I would take. That's a unification. Either way, give me that. Moving on, unless you have any other points to say about that fight. Gary?
Josh Franco.
For who? Ioka?
Ioka.
I mean, sure, that's a tune-up.
Oh, Josh Franco is nobody's tune-up.
It's not tune-up, but it's definitely not a top 5 fight.
I agree.
He's fighting a borderline top 15 guy in Franco.
Well, he went up to 118 to do the rematch in trilogy with Negrete, but he's coming back down to 115. At 115, he's in the top 15.
Yeah, borderline. The top 15's the division's good.
Good, the division's really good.
Yeah, it's no discredit to him. I'm not like throwing shade at him. It's like, no, that's a good thing. He's a borderline top 15 guy. Positive, not negative, positive. Gary, relax. Lower the guard. Put down the Texas flag.
Where do you get a lot of Josh Franco's little brother, Bam Rodriguez?
I would rather him fight a guy like Andrew Maloney, an undefeated fighter, Franco.
Yeah, me too.
And have Ioka have a unification. Like, let's work towards a undisputed champion. And no offense to Cintron, even though he was 11-0, he was a good prospect. He was the hometown showcase fight to a degree. To a degree. Not obviously that, but it kind of was. Go towards the unification now while you get the next title contender to be built up, whether that be Franco or whoever it may be, Maloney, other guys out there.
And Tanaka, surprisingly, is this the first time Tanaka's ever fought on this New Year's Eve date?
No, I think he fought last year on this New Year's Eve card. He didn't?
Mm-mm.
Did he fight on the Christmas Eve card last year or something like that?
Maybe. But I remember talking to you last year that why isn't Tanaka fighting? And I think we said he didn't fight the year before that either. So I'm guessing he never has, unless he's like an undercard fighter early in his career.
No, he did. He fought in 2016. Not last year, but 2016 he fought Moises Fuentes.
Oh, Fuentes. That's a good fight.
Good fight. That was on the New Year's Eve card. That was obviously when he was at 108. He fought in 2015 against Vic Saludar. Another really good opponent. God, man, his resume is so good. At 105, and that was New Year's Eve. Yeah, he fought twice on a New Year's Eve card in Japan.
It's just been a few years. Yeah, 2017, 2018. He did. Those
3 years now. 3 years now. Yeah, 2019. Yeah. Not surprised. I mean, if you're thinking about it, Japanese boxing's a three-headed dragon right now with Tanaka, Inoue, and Murata.
Do you think Tanaka rivals those other two? I feel like the other two are much bigger stars.
They are. But he is becoming He's gaining that momentum to be a part of the conversation. He is.
As Tim Bradley would say, Murata is huge in China.
That's right. He said that. Oh, God. We got Tim Bradley needs to go, man.
Maybe he is. Maybe it's like saying Klitschko's huge in Germany. True. I mean,
yeah, but imagine with no context. It's like this commentator's going, yeah, Klitschko's massive in Germany, and you're thinking, and this is before he's ever big in Germany. Think about that. Like, no, that's not true. He's Ukrainian. It's not right. It'd be like saying Kobe Bryant's big in Japan. It's like, no, it's not true. He's big in China. It's close. Do you get points for being close? It's not horseshoe. I don't know. Digressing, though. Also, I want to mention that Jinjiro Shigoko in the 105-pound division, who was 4-0, fought Ray Loroto, who was a notable veteran of the division, beat him in the 5th round in KO. I did not see the fight. I know others that have seen the fight and have announced him a new contender for Menothin and knockout CP Freshmart. So look out for a guy named Shigoka. I know I'm butchering that. I apologize sincerely. But that's all I have about the Japanese New Year's Eve card. Gary, any other thoughts about it?
No. Again, Tanaka did what he was supposed to do. He took care of an overmatched opponent, outclassed him, outpowered him, and put him away viciously. And then the main event fight was great. No one in the chat, everyone in the chat agrees with you that maybe he won a couple. Maybe Cintron won a couple. I gave him the first. I'm pretty sure it was the first 4. It was definitely at least the first 3. And then I gave him another round. So it had to be the first 4 because I had him up 5. I gave him 5 rounds. So it was the first 4 and then the 6th. So I had him up 5-1 on my card. And then I had a clean sweep in the second half of the fight for Ioka.
Yeah, it's one of those fights where, not to the same degree, it's not a 1-to-1 analog, but like Canelo Kovalev, we're like, oh, Kovalev's doing a lot on the outside, he's doing some good work. And all of a sudden you realize, oh, wait, no, he's not winning. Like, he's doing more. And he kind of looks like he's winning, but he's not. And, like, he's not at all. That's
Taylor versus Chavez, right? And everyone was like, oh, I can't believe they stopped the fight. Like, have you seen the beating? I know he's probably up on points, which I don't even know if he was because it was already a knockdown in that round. So that was going to be about a 10-7 round. I don't know if he still wins the fight on points, but he was Max Kellerman. He's winning the fight but losing the story. Like that was that fight to a T. It's also kind of the story in the Canelo Kovalev fight too. We found out that Kovalev wasn't up on points actually, which was weird. But Canelo was definitely landing the more meaningful shot.
I'm so glad we did not get to a decision for that fight. Where me like us, we're on the live chat going, man, Kovalev's like dominating this fight, and it comes out Canelo unanimous decision. I would have lost my shit. But I think like Ioka Cintron was kind of that to a degree, where it's like, oh, Cintron's doing a lot here, but he's not winning the fight. Like, this is clearly him reacting to a lot of what Ioka is doing, even though what Ioka is doing doesn't seem like a lot. You know, posturing and feinting is a very subtle thing that happens in boxing, and it's very hard to gauge it on the outside at times. Especially, like, posturing. Like, where you are, how close you are to an opponent. There's times where you're watching it, you don't think an opponent's that close to someone, but when you're in the ring with them, you feel that pressure mentally and physically. Like, you feel like they're right there suffocating you. And I think to a degree, you can tell Cintron was feeling that. Like, it reminded me of whenever I've sparred guys that are way better than me and are just marching me down and, like, slipping my shots and, like, beating me up to the body. And I'm doing a lot. I'm throwing a lot of jabs out and moving a lot. And it's not accounting for anything. Because the actual damage and effect is being caused by the body shots and the aggression on their part to a degree. But digressing, let's get to the news of the day, Gary. Lomachenko and Teofimo being pursued by Saudi Arabia. You hate to see it. Bob Arum saying, Lomachenko is fighting Lopez. That is done. Oh, air horns. It's done, Gary. Now, the question is the site of the fight. We have MSG bidding against the Barclays in Brooklyn, and we're also getting a bid from Saudi Arabia to do that fight. It would be in April, or a worst-case scenario, it would be in May if it went to Saudi Arabia, because it would be after Ramadan, the Muslim holy month that finishes May 23rd. So, guys, Gary, thoughts on this fight? We have Barclays Center, MSG, and Saudi Arabia.
Doesn't the Barclays have...
Sorry.
Doesn't the Barclays have an exclusive contract with PBC?
No, it's not exclusive.
It's not?
PBC has an exclusive contract to hold New York events at the Barclays. It's not
two-sided.
No.
Then why does Top Rank never really, or Golden Boy or anything like that, ever really utilize them? Because the Garden's such a better venue. I don't know why they put them in the Barclays Center. I mean, I guess that would be the reason. Have you ever been in the Garden, Madison Square Garden?
No, I've been in the Barclays Center.
It's nice. It's cool. But like,
but the Barclays Center or MSG?
Barclays Center. The Garden.
I'll be honest. I hated the Barclays Center.
I didn't want to say that, but yeah, I mean,
it. First off, it's not near anything in New York. It's in Brooklyn. No offense to Brooklyn. Love Brooklyn. Stayed next to the Barclays Center. There's nothing to do around that. You have to be in Manhattan. MSG, I've never been there, but for the Barclays Center, it's like painted black on the inside, and there's like no windows or way to like escape, so to speak. So you feel like you're just in a suffocating box that's hot and sweaty if you're in the summertime. No, I did not like the Barclays Center.
The Garden, and they've updated the Garden since, but the Garden is great. Like the Garden is the best venue. It's the acoustics is like the best, and then the seating. You know how like stadiums go up. Like this just goes out, so you could be sitting literally. And I sat there for a Knicks game, literally the last row, in the venue. Like if they hadn't built the last row, I wouldn't have had a seat. And the seats are fine. Like you see everything perfectly because it just it like suddenly goes out instead of going up. That's the best venue to watch anything. Like I'd go watch anything at the Garden, which I guess is why it's the world's most famous arena and it's in the middle of New York City. But like, I don't know why. I guess it's obviously got to be cheaper to rent out the Barclays and the Garden, I would guess, which is why they do it. But just watching, as from a spectator's experience, like obviously the Garden's a better venue to watch an event.
And it's more historic for sure. It just is, right?
Right.
I mean, that's not even disputable. So what do you think is going to happen here, Gary? MSG, Barclays, or Saudi Arabia? Going down to...
I mean, unless these two guys don't want to go there, it's going to be Saudi Arabia because they're going to give them the bag. If you would have said Vegas, maybe the MGM Grand comes with a huge offer because they really want to fight. But I mean, the site fee is going to be too much for Saudi Arabia for them to say no.
And it's completely in line with Bob Arum's quotes that we did a video on a while ago, Gary, talking about how site fees, international site fees, is a massive aspect to their business venture and business structure moving forward because they can't sell tickets in the U.S. And Loma-Lopez, while a great fight, would be one of those, Gary, that they have to work for to sell tickets at MSG or the Barclays, right? That's not an automatic 15,000 plus people there.
The only thing, it's Bob Arum, and like Saudi Arabia is a rabid anti-Semitic country. Do you think he's just going to say, I can't? He doesn't care, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
Benjamin Netanyahu and the state of Israel are all buddies with Saudi. Let's be honest.
No, you're right. I guess I don't want the fight to be there for obvious reasons. And I want it here in case I want to go to it, right? Like, and to me, if I had to bet, I would say it's going to be in Saudi Arabia because the site fee is just too big for them not to put it there.
Yeah, and it's too much in line with what Bob Arum has been saying lately. The only other saving grace might be, I don't know, the network saying, no, we want this fight in the U.S. We want it in New York. Do we think Lopez is going to be a future star for us? we want to invest in Lopez. That might be the only saving grace, is actually the network coming in and saying, no. This would be a disservice to our long-term plans for this fighter. And the promoter nowadays don't think long-term. They think in a very short-term perspective.
Yeah. I would agree with you. If you want Lopez to be a star in the U.S., put this fight in the U.S., and then you can put him, if you want to put him in Saudi Arabia, then you can do that for his next fight, his mandatory fight, or some other fight, right? Because the population of Saudi Arabia is what, about 40 million?
Sure.
So it's a fairly large country. I mean, you want their money, you're going to have to, you can put a fight there. But this is the star-making fight. This goes in the U.S.
Yeah, I wonder. I'm glad that's done, though. You know, it feels like no matter what we're going to get this fight. So that's a good thing. That's a positive. And it just seems like we're about to get a truly star-making and breakout performance here from Teofimo Lopez.
Again, you're obviously leaning towards picking Teofimo Lopez.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not.
Hype train, guys. Hop on board.
I'm not ready. He could win. I'm just not ready to have him beat a top 2 or 3 pound-for-pound guy in the world yet. Not ready to put him there yet.
Just send me location.
Just send me the location. I'm there for the hype train of Teofimo Lopez. Timing in boxing is a massive thing, guys.
Is that Lomachenko who says send me location?
No, it's Khabib Nurmagomedov.
I thought it was Usyk.
No.
Okay.
You xenophobic bastard. Not all Eastern Europeans sound the same.
I don't even know who that guy is that you just named.
Khabib, the guy that beat Conor McGregor.
Oh, got to be McGregor.
Yes.
What's his first name?
Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Oh, Khabib is his first name.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, his last name isn't Khabib. SSB saying Lopez win would be bigger in the U.S. than Saudi Arabia. I mean, I feel like that's a guarantee. It just Teofimo Lopez, if he wins, how can you not say he's one of the next potential superstars in the sport? Right?
No, he is. He is the next star. He's the future of the sport. But that's a big if. He hasn't.
No. Wait. Hold on. I think it's an if, even if he beats Loma. You think if he beats Loma, it's like he is the next star?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
But that's a big if. It's like
no. I understand the if of the fight. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about stardom itself is still an if afterwards, in my opinion. It has to be.
He's got the backflip. He's got the skills. He's got he's a likable kid who's an entertaining kid. Like he wears the jersey of the highs. Like you can see he's a star. He's got a star. He's got the personality of the star. He acts like a star. Like, and then he's got all the skills of a star. If he beats Lomachenko, yeah, I think he's a massive star.
How fast do you think it takes to get a Crawford versus Lopez narrative after that?
Do you think that Crawford pulls a Pacquiao and tries to get out of that fight and just fight?
Thank you for going there. Thank you for going there. I was going to go there if you didn't go there. Okay. How long did it take for us to start talking about Pacquiao versus Crawford as a realistic fight? Was it after 135 completely?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you might have been talking about it, but the boxing community as a whole, when Crawford went to 140.
Okay. Okay. Then I'll wait on harping on Crawford Lopez talking points. Show that Crawford's ducking Lopez. But that will happen soon, guys. Not saying me personally will be, bandwagging that narrative and talking point, but I will definitely make jokes about it because it would be hilarious.
They talked about him after fighting Loma going up to 140. Would Ramirez be next? If that would it be Lomachenko? Should he win it? I'm not picking him to win. I'm picking Lomachenko. But let's just live in that world for a minute where he upsets Lomachenko. Does he go straight to a Ramirez fight?
You could. Let's be honest here. If you beat Lomachenko, what's to say you don't beat Ramirez?
No, if he beat Lomachenko,
right?
I would pick him to beat Ramirez. I think Ramirez is really good.
I don't know if it's a straight to sort of fight because this is boxing. He's gonna take a tune-up, right? So,
think so.
Right, he's going to take a tune-up. And plus, the question of jumping out of 135 and sort of jettisoning from that division, does he do it straight after Loma? I don't know. I mean, there's an argument that he should. Like, once you beat Loma, what else is there for you at 135? To wait for Devin Haney to heal up? I mean, does that really... I mean, you can move on from 135 after beating Loma. Loma's the ultimate boss battle of the division. Think of it like Super Mario 64 or something like that, right? Like, he is the final boss battle at 135. Why do you then go back and play the other missions and the other boss battles and other like mini boss battles and Haney and Campbell and everything like that? Like, you don't need those fights anymore. You can move past that, like you said, and go to Ramirez, or maybe not Ramirez, maybe a Prograis or someone else that would be at 140 and really all of a sudden propel yourself to a conversation of pound-for-pound status. Because if he does that, then he instantly does start becoming a conversation of pound-for-pound. Because you start changing weight classes and beating champions, you automatically become in that conversation.
Yeah, if he beats Loma, he's on the pound-for-pound list. He just beat Lomachenko. And Comey. He's on the list. If he didn't beat Ramirez, he's high on the list, like top 3 or 4 on the list.
Heyman's World saying Tank versus Teofimo is a pay-per-view. I mean, it would be because, that's the business. But again, it becomes a conversation of, like, you already beat Loma. Like, does going back and being Gervonta Davis really add to your legacy right now and your brand right now? Maybe to, like, a small degree. Because of the fandom that he has, which we're going to get to. I mean, obviously, I think there's people that watch Gervonta Davis. He is a minor star in the sport. But the accolades you get from it are kind of diminished at this point in time.
You want to know what he should do after? If he beat Lomachenko, you know what he should do next? Go to 140, knock out Broner on pay-per-view. Big bucks, big spotlight. People like to watch Broner get knocked out. This is the new kid on the block. Knock Broner out on pay-per-view.
Since we're talking about Gervonta Davis and like Crawford and all these people, let's talk about Crawford and Gervonta Davis getting into a little back and forth, let's say, on social media. Terrence Crawford saying on social media, Tank fought, on Twitter by the way, Tank fought a 38 out of prime fighter with a torn Achilles and barely KO'd him.
I want smoke.
Laughing face emoji. Gamboa hasn't fought in a meaningful fight since me in 2014, and after that, he got stopped by a guy with 12 losses. And y'all making it seem like he do something spectacular? Oh. Gervonta replies, that same guy, Gamboa, touched you up for the first 4 or 5 rounds, and he was the bigger guy and he hurt you. ... Ooh, ellipses. Oh, hold on. My bad. I never lost not 1 round. Another ellipses. ... He barely touched me, and I moved up in weight. And then, what else do we have here? Oh, and then we have him also replying, Gervonta. It took Crawford 12 rounds to KO Benavidez, was shot in the leg 8 times, and hasn't been in the ring for a year before the fight. And then, and in his last fight, he got worked by a guy who wasn't even a champion. Crawford replies, hey, best friend, I bet both would beat you, though, fat boy. Winky face emoji. Oh, my God. So much glorious shit talking. I love it. Gary, who won here? Who got the 10-9 round? Has to be Crawford, right?
I'm leaning towards Crawford, although I could see the judges going either way on this.
Look, Gervonta has 100% a point, but Crawford has a better one-liner. Sorry,
he does.
Like in a rap battle, Crawford wins 10 times out of 10.
Crawford did the better work, and then he sealed the deal with the fat boy.
And when you're talking shit on Twitter, guys, you gotta play it off like you're cool. Like, Gervonta has no emojis. He has the ellipses. Like, he seems mad. Crawford's smiling, cracking jokes, winky face emojis. Telling you guys, you gotta do this.
Crawford's actually good at this, right? When he had that face-off with Spence, and Spence is like, Gamboa hurt you. And he's like, son, Ocampo hurt you. Which is funny because it's kind of true. People don't realize Ocampo ripped him with a body shot in the first round of that. Well, I guess it only went around. But early in that fight, Ocampo ripped him with a body shot, right? So Spence is like, Gamboa hurt you. Son, Ocampo hurt you.
I only wish Crawford applied this to PBC welterweights. If he was out there talking to Keith Thurman this way.
He had a little beef with Danny for a while, but Danny kind of squashed it and said, I have a fight coming up. I don't have time for you.
Look, Danny won't talk back that shit. Let's be honest. Danny isn't that guy. Danny is not that guy. His dad's that guy. He's not that guy. You know who is that guy? Keith fucking one-time Thurman. Why wasn't Crawford ranting and raving on Twitter for a week after that Josito Lopez fight? He should have. Talking mad shit about Keith Thurman on Twitter. And Crawford's funny. Crawford has some wit to him. He could easily have made some memes. Gone Rigo on him. Like Rigo Loma. Be the troll. He doesn't. He wants to troll Gervonta Davis, I guess. Which is cool, but
it's not a fight.
Yeah, there's no end point to the beef. They're just talking shit to each other. If this was Keith Thurman or Broner or anyone that's, Mike Garcia, anyone, there's a fight that could happen, that could materialize from it. Gervonta, might be at 147 in 5-10 years time, but that would be
5'4". He can't move. This is as high as he goes.
I'm just saying he might. Okay, I don't know, but that would be a bad thing. Crawford needs to step it to some guys in his weight class. Let's be honest, he does.
Yeah, Keith Thurman. Call out Keith Thurman will play that game with you. Call out Keith Thurman.
100%. Even though Keith Thurman is not a social media guy, he'll find out about it, and you guaranteed he will respond in some way.
It'll be funny and clever too.
With some poem or playing the flute and talking trash. Okay, that's how Keith Thurman does it.
Do you remember at the Pacquiao press conference where he did the impersonation of Pacquiao? That was really funny. I don't even like Keith Thurman, obviously, but it was really funny.
Keith Thurman has the best personality out of any welterweight. He's just not online, so you don't see it ever. That's the issue. He's off playing the flute, doing ayahuasca with his wife in the Himalayas. That's what they do, which is cool. If you want to do ayahuasca and DMT and play the flute all your life, do that.
What's the line from Office Space? If I had $1 million, what would I do? Nothing. Right?
Yep. Great move, by the way.
If I had any $1 million, I would really do nothing.
Classic movie. Gervonta Davis also, speaking of him, did an average with, including on-demand and live streaming, a average of 774,000 viewers. The whole show averaged 602,000 viewers, including on-demand and live streaming. I think the numbers without that is an average audience of 577,000 viewers, making this the second highest viewed fight on Showtime this year, obviously behind the Deontay Wilder-Dominic Breazeale fight. Gary, is this Gervonta Davis turning a corner in terms of stardom? Is it just a factor of him fighting an opponent that people know more? Is this a sign that Showtime is, bouncing back to some degree? Thoughts on what this number could mean, what it doesn't mean, all the fun topics we're going to get into.
It's a good number, so that means it's good.
Yes.
Now I'm just really concerned about that Jamal Charlo number, right?
Wow.
Yeah, this is 3 times that, 2.5 times that. That's concern. Why did Jamal Charlo do that bad a number? I thought it was because half the subscribers dropped Showtime because they were kind of out of boxing, but that's not the case because he just Davis just did his best number. The Hugo Boss Ruiz fight only did 300,000 live viewers, so this is double that. Now the opponent's better,
way better, far more known.
Better.
50 Cent signed him. That's huge casual attention right there. Don't diminish that, Gary. 50 Cent's a national treasure. You have Nicolas Cage searching for that guy. That's how treasured he is in
50
this
Cent
nation.
was on my list of top 20 rappers. I don't think he was on Anthony Walker's list, though.
Ooh, shots fired. And you're right. I don't think he was. Was he on mine? I want to say he was.
I think he was. I think you were the only one. I don't think he was on Foos' list either. Although he might have been on Foos'.
Foos' list was trash. Okay, I want to repeat that every time we bring up that video. You can find it on Trending Now Network.
Foos' list was trash. I just think the order was weird. Like he didn't put the order together. Like he just came up with 20 guys. Like, oh, I was supposed to put these guys in order. Oh, let me do that real quick. And then he like named the same guy 3 times. You said that already. No, it's a good sign for Tank. The only thing that's concerning is like Jermell Charlo did a good number on Fox. So now he thinks he's a pay-per-view star. He said, if you want to do the trilogy with Harrison, let's do it on pay-per-view. I'm not paying for that. Like, that's not a pay-per-view fight. Does Tank Davis now think he's a pay-per-view star because he did a good number?
Yes. Sorry, I for our podcast listeners. Yes, because these are Mikey Garcia numbers, which he then went on to do just under Mikey numbers, which he then went on to do in a pay-per-view with Spence. So I guarantee you Davis is looking at certain fights like Haney, Loma, Lopez as, no, those are pay-per-view fights. You know, like Comey, Bartholomew, no, those are still Showtime, probably, let's be honest. But the big fights, yeah, they're going to have to be pay-per-view now.
Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney would be on the Zone, though, right?
Those guys would leave the Zone.
Devin Haney? Garcia would have to. Was Oscar in a position where he's going to negotiate? You know?
And let's be honest, Oscar and Eric Owens would be like, no, Tank Davis is going to demolish Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia's trash. So Haney is not big enough to really contend with. I mean, Haney, let's be honest, let YouTubers main event above him. He doesn't have any right to fucking talk to Gervonta Davis about who's the A side. He just doesn't.
He needs to fight someone before he fights Tank Davis. Like, I'm tired of going from cab drivers to top 3 guys in a weight class. Like, Haney should go fight somebody. He should go fight Luke Campbell. Beat Luke Campbell.
Well, we got Campbell Fortuna for that WBC belt, air quotes, because Haney is the champion in recess. So Haney versus the winner of that fight makes complete sense, and that's a great fight. And then theoretically, the winner of that fight might fight the winner of Loma-Lopez or whatever is going to happen. God knows. Why not Devin Haney versus Ryan? Hold on. Somebody asking in the chat, why not Devin Haney versus Ryan? Because they both need to fight established people. They're equally not established. So, like, I'm okay with prospects fighting each other, but if there's established veterans in the division within the top 10 that you can fight, go fight those guys. Because that's what determines how talented you are. Fighting other untested prospects doesn't really equal how talented you are. Like Dubois Gorman. While we know Dubois is really good, we only can really base off of a fight against a guy that's also kind of untested. So Dubois is still a little bit of an unknown commodity with the top level guys. If he fought a Pulev, a Takam, certain other guys, we have a better barometer because they fought the top guys, then we get a barometer, we get a test. If Haney or Ryan Garcia fought, again, like Fortuna's, Richard Comey, Bartholomew, even Gamboa to a degree, like that's a barometer that we can then go and say, these guys have fought top level guys. This is how these prospects face, this is how these champions have faced against these sort of barometer tests. So that's why I'm not in favor of Ryan Garcia versus Haney right now.
What about Ryan Garcia versus Hector Tanahara?
I'm fine with it, but no, I want Ryan needs to step up. That's still fighting the Dunos of the world.
Well, that's why Tanahara's fighting Juan Carlos Burgos, because he's fought all those guys. He's fought Haney, he's fought Mikey Garcia, he's fought Rocky Martinez.
Yes, I think so.
To a draw. So now I know he's dated. He's kind of a fossil, Burgos, but
no, that is more of an accurate description of like the type of fighter you want to see a prospect face. You do. Now, more of a name.
They just gave Virgil Ortiz. Which,
Here's the thing. Tanahara is not a name, and I don't think he's at the level of Ryan Garcia yet. So, he shouldn't be fighting the level of guys that we're talking about with Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, to be honest. I know Gary's a Tanahara fan, but let's just be honest here. Tanahara is not to the level, both in name value, card position, as Haney and Ryan Garcia. Therefore, they need to take step-ups to a degree that Tanahara does not.
A card position, sure. Like, Tanahara is not a main event.
But card position usually equals competition level to a degree. Right? Like, Tanahara is like Julian Rodriguez for top ranked. Really good prospect. But he's still like the card opener, man. And that's where they expect him to be right now. So he's still going to fight those level of opponents that you expect from a card opener. Garcia's a co-main event to Canelo Alvarez now. He has to step it the fuck up in terms of name value, in terms of opponent.
Tanahara is a master boxer, right? He's not a superstar outside the ring like Ryan Garcia.
But he's not a master boxer. You know why? Because we've never seen him face anyone that's legit. That's what I'm talking about here. Okay? Like, I don't want to see him face Tanahara. Why? Because Tanahara is nothing yet. He's a non-commodity right now. Ryan Garcia is a non-commodity too. The only difference is he's a name and he's positioned on cards, in terms of like where on the card, to fight better opponents. Where I'm expecting that my bang for my buck should be higher. Okay? That's why he needs to fight better opposition. Haney has a fucking belt around his waist. He needs to fight better opponents than Tanahara. Like, these are just Tanahara is not in any sort of equation for the top 10 right now. Tanahara needs to fight top 20 guys, and then fight top 15 guys, and then fight top 10 guys. The top 15 guys need to fight other top 15 guys. And Ryan Garcia, Haney, those are top 15 guys.
Who are you putting on Ryan Garcia's hit list? Like, who has he beaten that's better than the guys
Who the fuck has Tanahara beaten that's better?
He's beaten the same level. He's beaten Robert Menezes. He's beaten Ivan Delgado. He's beaten Ezekiel Alvarez.
Cool. Like I said, non-commodity. Like I said, the non-commodity. Gary, I don't know. Gary. I don't know if you heard me, but I equated Ryan Garcia and Tanahara. I said they're the same fucking non-commodity. I don't know what you're talking about here, Gary.
I don't know what I'm talking about either. I said
no. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about. And I said the same with Haney. They've all fought nobody. They're all the same. But the difference is Haney has a belt. Ryan Garcia is a co-main to Canelo. Therefore, they have to fight better opposition. Automatically. End of story. Tanahara, hold on, let me finish. Tanahara is opening cards. So he can take the long road as a prospect. So for Ryan Garcia and Haney, when we're talking about who they should fight next, Tanahara is not in the equation. Because Tanahara is not going to be that opponent for those guys. Well, it suffices the idea that they are either a co-main to Canelo, they're a champion. No, it doesn't do that. Okay? Haney needs to fight a top 5 guy. He's a fucking champion now. Ryan Garcia is co-main eventing to Canelo Alvarez and fighting guys like Romaro Duno or whoever his name is. Okay?
Well, that was a grudge match. That was because they said he was scared.
Yeah, it was a grudge match. It was promoted very well by Eric Gomez to make us think that fight mattered. It didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
Not at all. Okay? So that's why he needs to fight better opposition. That's what I'm trying to say, Gary. It's not that I'm saying that these guys are better than Tanahara. I don't care about who's better. Because none of these guys have done anything yet.
Right.
So it's splitting hairs. Like none of them have done anything. But 2 of the 3 are materially positioned to fight better opponents. And the ways of how the sport is structured should be fighting better opponents. That's my argument.
Tanahara is stepping up against a better opponent. He's fighting a former Burgos was a world title challenger. He's a name who's been in the ring with everybody. That'll be a better name than anyone Ryan Garcia has on his resume.
Awesome. Awesome. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Gary.
How does Burgos not matter?
No, Gary, I don't care. That's not my argument. I'm not trying to argue who's better, Gary. You're thinking about like a fanboy right now. It's like I'm arguing with Rob talking about like fucking Conor Benn or Fowler. Like I don't care. I don't care about these motherfuckers. What have you done for me? And guess what? Even Tanahara's opponent, still, I don't give a fuck. He's not a top 15 guy. So you're still a non-commodity for me. You're still a prospect that's a card opener fighting that level of opponent. Okay? Like, the best names you're fighting right now are guys that have gone the distance with people. Whoopie fucking do. You're not a champion. You're not co-main eventing for Canelo. My standards for you are lowered. I don't care. Go away, Tanahara. Go do your thing. Until you're in a position on a card where my money becomes an issue, then, man, I don't care. Because right now I can watch Tanahara fights on YouTube for free. On DAZN. On their YouTube channel. So, like, I'm good. You can fight whoever on that. That's free. Haney, you're a champion. Ryan Garcia, you're co-main eventing to DAZN on the Canelo card. Or main eventing at times. You need to do more. DAZN costs a lot of money here, buddy. You gotta step it up. That's what I'm arguing here, Gary. But I'm not arguing which one's better. I don't care about that argument right now.
No, I agree. The other two guys obviously are bigger draws and are in better positions to get bigger fights.
But that's not what I'm arguing. I understand what you just said, but that's not what I'm arguing either.
I agree that all the guys have to fight better competition. I'm agreeing with most everything you said. I just saw a little red when you said unfavorable things about Tanahara. And I stopped listening after that and then on the offensive.
Look, like, if you're a prospect, there's a beauty in being like a non-commodity to a degree. You can fight on the undercards and you can suffer losses, you can have struggles and rebound, and you're under the radar. Right? There's a benefit to that. So, like, don't get it as like some twisted way of me like shading all these guys. It's not. But it's a reality. Okay? Like, Julian Rodriguez is a great example of who Tanahara is. A guy that's a card opener for top-ranked cards that largely no one knows of. Right, Gary? I mean, we talk about him, I feel like, more than any other boxing podcast. But
yeah, I agree.
The expectations for those guys are far, far lower than these other guys that are positioned to a degree to they're supposed to fight meaningful fights. Whether the hardware attached to them or the placement on the card they're attached to. You're expected to fight meaningful fights because you're in a position to fight a meaningful fight. When you continue to not, that's the issue.
No, and I agree. And I think Burgos, I was just talking about, is a step in the right direction, right? It's a former guy that we know that's been in the ring. After that, go fight Ricky Burns. How about that? How about a name like that?
I love
that's
that.
A 15-20 guy. Go fight Ricky Burns or Ivan Mendy or someone like that. A veteran who's game tested.
And Ryan Garcia should have been fighting those guys already. Like, Ryan Garcia should have fought one of those sort of guys on the co-main to Canelo card instead of Duno. Haney should have been fighting better opponents by now. Let's be honest.
Good. He might lose to those guys, and then look what you've done. Now you've exposed your prospect as the bum that he is.
But it's not really true that he's a bum that he is. Look at Lubin.
He's not. If you're gonna start comparing him to guys like Devin Haney or Hector Tanahara or Teofimo Lopez or the cream of the crop at 135, he ain't there yet.
Who are you talking about?
Ryan Garcia.
I thought you were talking about Haney.
No, wait. Haney's a far better prospect. And I know he's a world champion, but I'm still calling him a prospect than Ryan Garcia is.
No, of course.
Garcia's not as good as those guys.
I was talking about Haney in that the last minute, not Ryan Garcia.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I was saying, like, Ryan Garcia can take the step up. Like, he's good enough. Like, he should be fighting better opponents. Ryan Garcia, I get that he might lose, but who cares if he loses?
Like, they don't have much else if he loses.
It doesn't matter. Look, it doesn't matter if you lose. Like, we gotta get out of that mentality. Fernando Vargas took L after L after L, man, and he was still a fucking draw.
Not at this stage of his career. Not fighting top 30 guys. He wasn't. He lost to guys like Shane Mosley and Oscar De La Hoya and Felix Trinidad.
I understand that, but I think Ryan Garcia is gonna beat the Ivan Mendes of the world. Like, you don't think that? I think he will. Oh, stop! Come on.
He got work with Jason Velez, bro.
Not that much, though. No. I don't think so. And that was also 2 or 3 years ago now.
He should fight, what's the other Puerto Rican fighter's name? That he fought Lamont Roach to a draw.
That'd be at 130, though. That'd be a 130 pounder. Fuck that.
Oh, yeah. That's just bothering me.
No, I think Alvin Mendy is a perfect opponent for Ryan Garcia next. Like, that would be a great test. Alvin Mendy gave Luke Campbell some trouble. Like, it would make sense. I don't know.
Orlando Cruz is the name I was thinking of, right? But that's a 130-pounder. But a guy like that, a 135 equivalent of that, that's a guy who beats all the bad fighters and loses to the good fighters. If you can beat him, then you're a good fighter. Not a great fighter, but you should be able to beat. That should have been telling to me when Lamont Roach couldn't beat him, right? Like, I just didn't realize that Lamont Roach wasn't going to throw a jab at all, like 0 jabs. That's problematic.
Quickly, SSB saying Ryan Garcia is training with Jake Paul right now. I doubt he would step up anytime soon. Well, look, Christmas Eve, he was with Canelo training Christmas Eve. Ryan Garcia is still with Canelo Alvarez and Eddie Reneso, who's trainer of the year, arguably. I'm telling you. Like, bless the kid's an athlete. Like, if you're that athletically gifted and you're that young and you're with that camp, you're going to be molded into something talented. Maybe not, the next superstar, but he's going to be a top 10 guy. To say he's not is ridiculous. Like, he could I'll put it this way. He doesn't beat this person, but he gives guys like Elise Selby and Ricky Burns all the trouble in the world right now. And he is a very unpolished prospect, in my opinion. But he will. Am I wrong in that, Gary?
No,
Talking about Ryan Garcia here.
Yeah, I know we're talking about Ryan Garcia. And does he beat Ricky Burns? It would say a lot about him if he did. I would probably lean towards Burns, and I would probably,
I would lean towards them as well. But Ryan Garcia would give them all tough fights. And he's still a very unpolished prospect. You give him another year of working towards the Ricky Burns. Again, given the Yavin Mendes and work towards Ricky Burns and Lee Selby, that sort of level of opponent later down the line. The Richard Comeys of the world, the Bartholomew's of the world. You work towards that. But you have to. And then you fight the champions of the world, like Loma or Lopez. I don't count Haney right now. You got to do that. Sorry. And I think because of his car placement, he has to do that. But we've been talking about this for too long here. I don't know how we got on that topic anyways. Swinging it back to Gervonta Davis, Gamboa for a brief second, because I really didn't get my thoughts on it. Obviously, a massive success for Gervonta Davis. Huge step in the right direction for Showtime and Gervonta Davis. Is it indicative of anything long-term? I don't know. I think Gervonta Davis has always done pretty decent numbers. This was obviously a huge spike in those numbers, but he's always done decent numbers. This was also the first time he's fought a notable name in a long time. I think that's why you got this huge jump up in numbers. I think people really discredit how well-known Gamboa's name is in the boxing and sports circle. Like, Gamboa is known. You can make an argument. He is still probably the biggest win of Crawford's resume in Crawford's career.
As far as name value, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think people, this is what happens when you have two names together. Let alone a competitive matchup, because it kind of turned out to be. But if you put two names together, you get good numbers on TV. Shocker. You put Jamal Charlo and Dennis Hogan together, you're going to produce shit numbers. Right, Gary? This isn't rocket science. The more I was thinking about this story and whether to think of some big, broad narrative to bring out from this number, there isn't one other than you put names together, you produce metrics. You put a name against nobody, no one cares. A la most of Showtime's schedule this year.
Or Crawford versus Mean Machine.
Yeah. You're going to see a massive dip in viewership. 1 million people drop off from his last event on ESPN. You're going to see that.
And a related note to Ryan Garcia, I just looked at the updates on my phone, and I got an update from a Ellie Sekback video that said Ryan Garcia, huge step up fight against Fonseca. Only losses to Farmer and Davis.
That's how you keep your connections, Gary. Come on. That's how you keep your connections, okay? And, speaking of that, it's New Year's Eve show. Who gives a shit? Mike Coppinger, right? He's been receiving a lot of hate online for being like a DAZN guy lately. And like, I hate to burst people's bubbles here because, like, remember he used to work for like PBC and Inside PBC. Remember, like this year, that happened this year as well. That he was a Fox employee to a degree. These top media guys, they suck up to everyone. It's not just PBC. It's not just DAZN. It's not just ESPN or Top Rank. All of them suck up to everyone. That's why you would get like an Eddie Hearns saying, I, of course, pay for Dan Rayfield's hotels. Now, Dan Rayfield, some of his reporting might be a little bit biased towards ESPN, just like all these people, respective to their networks, might be. But they still suck up to everyone involved. I know we want to peg certain reporters as, oh, they're DAZN guy, they're PBC guy. No, they just like power and access. And sucking up to these people gives them that. That's what it is.
Although Dan is apparently out at ESPN after his contract is up.
Wait. You're breaking this to me. What?
Yeah, you didn't hear this?
No. You're breaking information to me. Wait, Dan Rayfield is done with ESPN?
We talked about this a while. Okay, so it was the Joshua fight, and he wanted like 2 armed security guards from the time he got off the plane to go to the Anthony Joshua fight in Saudi Arabia. And ESPN was like, well, no, you're not getting that. And then, like, you guys don't know the story? And ESPN was like,
I remember you saying that, but I just kind of...
ESPN's like, no, well, it's good. It's a good thing we're done with Fat Boy at the end of his contract. Can't wait to get him out of here. Something along those. The story's a month old now or whatever. But yeah, he's apparently done after his. Which does anyone here like him? Does anyone think he's inquisitive and smart and thoughtful? Anybody at all?
No.
So
No.
that's not going to be much of a loss. Freaking comic book guy.
I'm wondering where. Hey, comic books are amazing. Fuck off.
Do you know?
Secondly, oh, now I get it. Now I get it. Okay. He did sign a multi-year deal in 2016, though.
I think it's up at the end of this year, at the end of 2020. I'm pretty sure.
Where did you hear this from, Gary?
It was
it like a forum? Was it
no,
Twitter?
Hang on, I don't remember where. I think Rob put it in the group chat. I don't remember who reported it.
Was it someone that was like legitimate to a degree?
Yeah, I think so. It's all vague to me now. I'm not we talked about this for sure.
I remember us talking about it, but I didn't think like it meant like Dan Rayfield was leaving ESPN. That'd be massive. But all that means is we're gonna get more Steve Kim, which I'm not happy about.
Dan?
They're both really bad.
Dan's the worst.
Oh, it's so good. He's pretty bad. If you got to think about like, no, Kevin Iole. That's the worst right there. Come on. Think about it.
Well, Kevin Iole is like a nice guy. Like, he's a good dude. Like, if you met Kevin Iole, he'd probably buy you a drink.
No, Kevin's one of the nicest guys in the world. He's very nice. I've met him on quite a few occasions because he does a lot of MMA events too. So I've had the pleasure of meeting him there. But no, he's bad. He's bad at his job, which is fine.
It doesn't make him a bad person that he's bad at his
job. No.
Bad at his job.
You're just bad at your job. You're not a good writer. And you've written 1,000 pieces in the last decade about Mayweather, McGregor, Mayweather, Pacquiao, them not doing it, them doing it over and over and over again. And you've literally just made a cottage industry in Yahoo Sports purely writing about Mayweather. Hey, man, do you? I'm not mad about that. Hold on. 92 Aku, I think, is saying that he likes Dan Rayfield, saying he's an OG. Response, Gary?
Does Dan pick ESPN's Prospect of the Year? Because if he did, I just changed his mind. I changed my mind on him. Do you know who he picked? Virgil Ortiz. He's a really smart guy. Good looking too.
SSB saying, didn't Kenny Porter slap that YouTube reporter recently? Yes, he did. Was it the barbershop guy?
Barbershop Conversations?
Yeah, Fred. Is his name Fred?
I don't really listen to it. I know who you're talking about. I know
did you see that video?
No, who's Kenny Porter?
Kenny Porter's. And then Barbershop Fred came and like pushed Kenny Porter's girl that he was with. It was weird. Yeah, it was wild.
How do I find? What do I have to search to find this on YouTube? Just Kenny Porter and Barbershop Conversations.
Hold on, this is one of those shows. I got time today, guys. Hold on, let me try to find it for you. Dun, 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 dun. I guarantee you. I thought you saw that. I thought I sent this to the chat. I saw this. I'm like, I'm not gonna talk about this, but fuck, I'll find it now. Kenny Porter. Oh, it's the first thing that pops up. It's so good.
Kenny Porter Barbershop Conversation.
Oh, we got a new angle. HD, guys. HD. Hold on. I don't want any copyright for music from this guy. Okay, hold on. I'm sending the link is in the live chat for those that want to watch this, okay? I'm going to show it to some of you guys if you guys want to see it. I'm not going to play any volume. But it starts out with the slap. Okay. And we get them backing up, them talking shit.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Then, yeah, them talking shit. That's not really that exciting, let's be honest. Oh, yep, there's the push on Kenny Porter's girl. Another replay of the slap. More of a push to the face. Definitely a 10-9 round for Kenny Porter there. But yeah, Gary, that happened. Because I think he was banned from PBC events or something. And
Barbershop Conversations was.
Yeah. Which, I mean, look, I've said a lot of crazy shit. And a lot of shit that probably pisses off people in the years I've done radio on YouTube. I've never been banned from an event. What the fuck did he say to get banned from an event? Does anyone know in the chat? Let me know. Because it had to be something crazy.
I've never really listened to his show. I know who he is because I'm a boxing fan. I've come across his videos on YouTube and stuff. I've never really paid attention to him though.
Me neither. Shout out to boxing media beefs, always great.
I had a beef with Andre Ward too.
Who, him?
Yeah.
The only beef I've ever had is with Paulie, really. And surprisingly, Gabe Rosado has me blocked. I don't know why.
You probably said something bad about him when Name Redacted was.
That's probably true.
Name Redacted loves him like it's one of his children or something. Loves Gabe Rosado. I mean, look, we all have a respect for Gabe Rosado to a degree. I mean, he's a warrior. He gives us blood nuts, but this guy's not a good fighter.
Yeah. So okay, we're gonna end the show with some gossiping here because why not? But so I don't know if you got the joke. I know you did the haha in the group chat thing about it. But when I said Tony from T Street's back. So Tony is this guy on, I think he works for T Street, right? T Street Controversy, right? That YouTube channel. Some clarinet playing dork ass motherfucker. And he hates me with a passion, right? And I saw him and Adam from Name Redacted, who I like. I like Adam, right? Beefing online. And so I merely pointed out on the subtweets, I didn't at anyone. I was being petty with my T. And just merely point out that it's funny that two guys are going to war and they're fighting over this whole barbershop issue. Going to war over a YouTube beef representing companies that they don't own. They're making no money from. They're putting out content, make content for people that are making money and owning it that aren't them. And they're beefing over a YouTube channel that's not one of those YouTube channels. Hilarious. I remember when I was naive and young in this industry. And Tony is, snaked across the interwebs and found that. He was not happy, man. Tony was not happy. But shout out to Tony, because he's the same asshole that said that Loma and Corolla was a near sellout. Reminder, said the narrator. It sold 4,000 tickets in the Staples Center. That's not a sellout.
The Staples Center holds 20,000.
Yeah, not a sellout at all. That I don't promote the sport. And that I don't do my job right. Fuck you, Tony. Hope I catch you in these streets. You clarinet playing motherfucker. But anyways, Gary, what's up, man? How you doing?
I don't think there's anything fundamentally wrong with playing the clarinet.
I used to play the clarinet. It's fine. But guess what? I played the clarinet when I was in like 6th grade. When, like, you had to play an instrument. Remember that?
True story. I played the saxophone in 5th grade, and I was so bad that the band teacher told me I didn't have to go to the winter concert. I would still get credit for playing the instrument. Like, there was a Christmas concert, like winter Christmas concert, and the band teacher told me, "Yo, you don't need to go."
So
I wasn't the saxophone.
I used to play the clarinet. Hated it. Fucking hated it. So I started playing the drums, right? Percussion, right? For like school band. And then I learned to play on the drum set. And the only thing I can find was like the jazz band at school to play in. And jazz is fucking hard. Oh my god, because it's offbeat. The just like the way you play the drum is very different in jazz than in like rock or anything like that. Oh my god, I the band teacher told me I would kick you out, but you're the only person that knows how to play the drums in this entire school. So I understand your pain, Gary. I was not good at music. I understand.
Music is hard.
It is. It is hard. It's like math. Very difficult. SSB saying barbershop conversation and Keith Thurman's father had an altercation at the Pacquiao-Thurman fight. Keith's pops didn't want to interview him and Fred got pissed. Wow, interesting. I didn't know that. And Yogi... Sorry?
Dad didn't want to do an interview? Is that...
Yeah.
Like Keith Thurman Sr. didn't want to do an interview?
Yeah.
And Fred took offense to it?
Yeah.
I wasn't there, but that seems kind of like... I'm the guy's dad. I don't want to do an interview. I don't understand how you can get mad at him. Like, you come to me and stick your phone in my face. I don't want to talk to you. Like,
yeah, that's why I hate going to media events and like running around the camera for interviews. I hate that shit so much, man. I hate it. Plus, everyone there hates each other. It's miserable. Yogi in the chat saying I used to be a boxing ego fan, but no more. Congrats, man. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. PD saying Tony ? Yeah, he's some asshole that works for T Street, I think. Goofball motherfucker. What else? 92 saying thanks for the link. I think Ish was fun. Yes, and also remember, guys, check out the Japanese New Year's Eve boxing the cards last night on our community tab. You can check it there on YouTube if you want to see any links to those fights. Tanaka or Ioka versus Cintron. They were good fights. I recommend watching them. Find me, Matt Hunter, MCR, on all social media platforms. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for all the support this year, this decade, all the fun we've had. It's been a wild ride in my media career thus far. It's only like 4 or 5 years old now, so it's just starting. And it's going to get interesting, guys, in 2020. That's all I'm going to say. What else? I'll be gone for the next few days, so no show the rest of the week. Apologies. I'll be back when I can. Gary?
It was a fun show. It took some interesting turns, but pretty good show. It was a really good year. Thank you guys for coming out and supporting me. This was the first time I've ever done anything like this, and Matt took a roll of the dice on some 36-year-old loudmouth from Texas, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate the support. You guys haven't been too harsh on me. Some of you even acknowledge that you like me, which maybe you should tell it to my wife because she don't even like me.
But to be fair, she has to put up with you, so I understand, you know.
That's true. But I thank everyone for the support. God bless. Happy New Year. Buon anno. Buon anno 2020. Italiano. See you next year.
Rigatoni Summer is just so happy. So happy. Have a great New Year, guys. Peace.